Hi, welcome to Cooking with Rich, a Cooking with Dan and Cooking with Longball production. Today, we're going to be cooking a recipe that's been passed down in my family for generations. It's called sushi. Nah, just kidding, it's just some recipe I found. A good start to making the right sushi is having the right rice. You want to have a rice that is a shorter grain or just specifically a sushi rice. You're going to need to start off by pouring yourself 2 cups of rice because that's what the recipe calls for, so just do it. This just happens to be a 2-cup measuring cup. Why I have this, I don't know, but it's very convenient for what I'm trying to do. So next you're going to want to pour your rice into a mixing bowl, and you're going to want to fill it with water to just above where the rice goes. What you're going to want to do here is swirl around the rice in the mixing bowl with the water so that it rinses the rice off, and then you're going to want to dump the water out and keep doing this until the water comes out clear, like when you put it in, because that means that the rice is clean. This step may take several back and forths of filling up and then pouring out and swirling. Just be patient, it might take a few tries. Then you're going to want to find yourself a stove, because if you don't have one of those, it's going to be real difficult to cook the rice unless you have your own rice cooker, which would be pretty dope. You're going to want to pour your rice into a medium saucepan and put also 2 cups of water in there, exactly 2 cups, because it has to be exactly 2 cups because there's kind of a reaction where the water goes into the rice and it makes it way more doper if it has the right amount of water. You're going to want to turn your stove on, but make sure that you turn on the right burner and turn it on high because you want to bring your water to a boil. Now you kind of have to wait for your water to boil, so if you have a cat that just keeps bothering you the entire time you're making a video, just feed him so he goes away. Once your water starts to boil, you're going to want to put a lid on the saucepan and then just turn your heat all the way down to the lowest setting. You're going to want to do this for 15 minutes, and then I'll tell you the next step then. While your rice is still cooking, you're going to want to combine 3 ingredients that you mix with the rice when it's done so that it has that sticky sushi feature that you want. Ingredients are rice vinegar, sugar, and salt. You need 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and 1 tablespoon of salt. I'd recommend using slightly less salt than a tablespoon because it might be a little too salty for your liking. You want to put it in a microwavable bowl and stir it up a little bit. You're going to have to microwave that for 30 to 45 seconds, but I'm going to wait until our rice is done to do that. Instead, I'm going to focus on cutting up our vegetables and fish. I've chosen to make a simple California roll, which is just avocado and crab usually, but I've also decided to add cucumber in it because I like cucumber. This is an avocado. You want to find one that's soft because that's when you know when it's ripe. You don't want to find one that's hard because it won't be ready to eat. It's been 15 minutes, so take your rice off of the burner and just move it to somewhere where it's not currently burning for 10 minutes. You want to cut open your avocado, but in a nice half, and take out the pit in the middle so that you can cut it into thin stripes julienne style. In order to do that, you're going to have to hold your avocado with one hand and take your other hand and use a spoon to scoop around the edge of it to get it to come out nice the way you want it to. For the sake of time, I pre-cut some cucumbers and some crab up already because otherwise I would have run out of time, which isn't good. Cooking with Rich hasn't been picked up by the Food Network yet, surprisingly. So we haven't been able to afford real crab, so you can just use imitation crab. Look, our rice is done. Let's put it in a mixing bowl. You're going to want to take that mixture you made before and pour it on the rice now. And you're going to want to fold it in using a spatula until it gets all over the rice the way you want it. The rice needs to cool to room temperature, so if you have time to just let it sit out until it gets there, you can do that, but I'm going to put it in the fridge. While I'm waiting for my sushi rice to cool, I'm going to take a piece of nori, which is roasted seaweed, and cut it in half. So if you take a closer look at this, there's a smooth side and a rough side. You want to place the rough side face up so that you can put the rice on it. While you're waiting for your rice to cool to room temperature, you can enjoy a nice protein shake, as previously shown how to be made in our original episode of Cooking with Rich. Or you can put the ticket that you got for having a headlight out in an envelope and then put it in the mailbox out front so that it can be done with. Once your rice cools to room temperature, it should be pretty sticky and will stick to your hands and be kind of annoying to get off. Now, you're going to want to spread a thin layer of rice over both pieces of nori. I would recommend putting water on the tips of your fingers to make this easier to work with the rice. You now have two rolls that kind of start to look like sushi. You're going to want to flip both of them over so that the rice is now facing towards the bottom of the table. This is the part to be creative. You can put whatever ingredients you have in the middle of the rolls, so get after it. I mean, whatever you want. It should look something like this. I mean, yours might be a little bit different, but you don't want to put too much stuff in the middle because then it's going to be hard to roll. The rolling and the cutting is about the most difficult part to making sushi, so bear with me as I might screw up. You're going to want to hold the ingredients in the middle with your fingertips while tucking this part over the top to connect with this side. You're going to need both. It should look something like this now. Take this bamboo mat thing with a plastic bag on the outside so it doesn't stick and just squeeze it into a square or a rectangle. There's other ways to do it, but this is the way that I do. You're going to want to flip it over too and do that on the other side so you get like a nice good rectangle and so all the stuff stays inside of your sushi. The next part you're going to do is find like the sharpest knife that you have so that you can cut the sushi. I might not have a sharp enough knife, but we'll see. You want to cut a pretty good size piece of sushi. You don't want to make it too thin or it won't come out, but it should look like this when you're done. Sushi is usually served with either soy sauce, pickled ginger, or wasabi. I don't have wasabi or pickled ginger, so I'm just going to go with soy sauce. Let's see how we did. Here we go. You also have the option of sprinkling some sesame seeds on your sushi. I don't really want to, so I'm not going to. Probably going to have extra supplies that you're going to want to put away. For avocado, you're going to want to put some lemon juice on it so that it doesn't turn black, which is gross. You're also going to want to clean up after yourself. I don't really have time to do that, so I'm probably going to get yelled at for that later. Thanks for watching Cooking with Rich, a Cooking with Dan and Cooking with Longball production. Tune in next time for the next Cooking with Rich. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. I gotta go. I'm gonna be late for work.